An aha without action is nothing more than a dopamine hit. I love the phrase aha, and I do think it gets a lot of airtime in our world as business owners. We love a good aha, don't we? But here's the thing, it depends on the weight that you give that aha. So, to give you a frame of reference for that, I'm going to explain to you what I mean by weight, and we'll dive more into it in just a second. So, in certified high performance coaching, we have a framework called RWID. It means the relative weight of importance and duration. It basically means that the more airtime you give a thought, the more weight you give it. And the more weight you give it, the more importance it gets given in your brain. It goes up the value ladder, if you like. And the more important your brain thinks something is to you, the more it will dish you up evidence to validate that. So if you don't have the right weight for an aha, you are never going to get the breakthrough that's available on the other side of it. So would you like to know how to? Of course you would. So you know what to do. Grab your brew. Let's dive right in. So we just talked about the relative weight of importance and duration. First of all, though, I want to give you what my definition is of an aha. An aha for me is when you hear something, you read something, you learn something, and in that moment, you immediately get a shift in perspective. Something new, different becomes available to you, an option, a belief. You feel that in your body. And then perhaps even more important than that, that on the other side of that, there is a picture that gets created in your brain that you may or may not see that actually tells you that with the application of this aha, something new becomes possible for you. A new future is there for you. That combined with the fact that it's a fully embodied 5D experience makes ahas so exciting, so powerful, and why we want to have them, because they feel so good in their body. They are a dopamine hit. But I really want you to hear me when I say that the reason that most people find them so powerful is because in that moment, something becomes available to them that they really want. A new pathway gets opened to achieve their desires. That's why it's so powerful. However, like I said at the beginning, an aha without action is nothing more than a dopamine hit. So I want to talk a little bit about what you've done with your ahas in the past, because I'm pretty certain that you've had at least one or two ahas in your past. So let me ask you, what did you do with them? This gift of gold was presented to you. Did you claim it? Or did you wait for it to do something for you? And here's where I see the difference. Is that some people have these ahas and they share them and they love them and they're excited when they're talking to you, they're gesticulating, their face is different, they're in this future vision and they're loving it. And this is even more powerful when the aha has happened in a group environment where you've been in a high energy environment with many of the same people. So if you've been at a conference or a certification or something, and you've got the energy of the room and you're all bouncing off of each other, like that experience is magnified. Maybe the aha happened on a coaching call or on a group call, or you heard something in a program, right? So that it's now got even more power. And in that moment, and those ahas feel really good, what's the difference between the people that take those and run with it and create the breakthrough, and those that lock them away to die lonely in a cupboard in a horrible, lonely death? Kind of not sorry about the visual there, but I want you to get what I'm kind of saying. There are two people that take the ahas and they run with them in very different ways. So what I see most often is that those ahas last for somewhere between a couple of days and maybe a couple of weeks. And then regular life hits in. Something hard happens. Something happens in their external environment that challenges their mindset or their energy set, like wherever they are. and it rocks their boat a little bit, and the aha loses power. And then it continues to lose power over and over again for the next few days or the few weeks until the aha was just something that just happened and it feels like it was a lifetime ago and maybe you don't even remember it. That can be what happens. And what happens then is that people are consciously and unconsciously looking for the next aha, the one that requires nothing for them, the one that's going to stick around no matter how they treat it, the one that they're going to always run around feeling great in their body all of the time, no matter what's happening. Can you see how I'm showing you about the fact that this is a brain thing, a body thing, and a neurological thing? Right? I want you to really feel this. So we're having the somatic felt sense, the experience in our body. We're having this neurological thing happening because we're seeing different pictures in our brain, and how we apply it determines which picture we're creating, and then we're having thoughts about it. And it's the mindset that we choose to have about it. So now let's talk about those people that actually create the breakthrough from the aha. What are those people doing? The people that have the aha and then apply consistently do so knowing that they can expect discomfort, and therefore they train themselves for it and in it. They know that that discomfort is part of the success journey. They know that the breakthrough they get isn't a passive byproduct of the aha, it's the reward of the application of this new knowledge, of this new frame of reference. And this is what I teach my clients, and I'm going to tell you right now how to do it for yourself. So the first thing that needs to happen is that you need to understand that the moment of the aha and the subsequent kind of hours or days, that's the most powerful thing that you need to hold on to. You need to be able to harness, to foster, so that you can, that kind of energy in your body, so that you can activate it at will, because it will dissipate. It won't hang around just by itself. You need to generate it. So in that moment, you need to get really clear on what is it that I'm thinking that I didn't think before? What has become available in this moment that I didn't see before? Who do I see myself being in the breakthrough that comes from my application of this aha? And you need to feel that in your body. You need to start to practice feeling it at will, and then keep, like I say, just keep amplifying it in your body. Because when you do that, what happens is it starts to flip your neurology at the same time. You'll start to unconsciously, through the feeling sense, create these visions in your brain that match the future that you want. You'll start to rewire your nervous system toward this breakthrough, and you'll be able to manage the discomfort of what it's going to take from you to be able to do that. So the first thing is you need to be frequently staying attached to what became possible when you had that aha. And then you need to train yourself for being in the hard. And by that, what I mean is you need to know what you need to say to yourself so that you create the mindset. You create the RWID. What thoughts will you give weight to on the dashboard of your mind? What will you choose to think? What are those statements, those sentences, those intentional thoughts that will keep you in a higher coherence with that reality? That will keep you energized even when things are hard. Because how you talk to yourself determines how your nervous system regulates to the hard. This is the issue we've got with a lot of people wanting to regulate themselves to calm. It's not teaching them that it's necessary to regulate yourself to the challenge, to regulate yourself to discomfort, to uncertainty, to a level of maybe even fear for some of you. So you've got to be able to train yourself for the hard without judgment, without making it mean anything about you. It's just part of the process. And then the last thing that you need to do is to keep yourself engaged in the process. Don't be so attached to the goal, because what I find is when a lot of people are attached to the goal, what is actually happening in their brain is they're saying, I'm so far away, it's not happening quick enough, I'm never going to get there. And actually, unless the goal motivates you when you look at it and makes you feel great, I want you to stay focused on the progress, focused on the journey. This is how you make ahas the breakthrough. They don't come as a package. The middleman is you. The middleman is your, oh my God, I got given this gift. This came to me. It came through me. I felt this aha. Now what am I going to do with it? You've got to stay in that energy, because your default RWID will bring you down. It will tackle you to the floor and keep you there. This is why the growth at every level requires something different from you. It requires a new version of you, whether you're starting your business, you're getting, say, to your first 25K, your first 50K, or whether you've maybe you're at 100K already and you want to go to the next level, maybe 200K. There's this new level of neurological wiring, the new visions, the new ahas, the new applications. Every single growth phase is a new, what's the word I'm looking for? Iteration of you. Almost like rebirthing yourself. And the only reason it gets easier is because you know that the feelings that you're having, the thoughts that you're having, they're not anything about you. It's just evidence that you're moving up to another layer, to another level. So I really want you to hear today, I love the ahas, but make sure that the weight that you're giving it is that I have an aha and it's a gift. And the only way that I can take that gift of gold and claim it is to do something with it, to honor it by applying it, not to wait for it to do something for me. That was a good one, wasn't it? I'd love to know your thoughts. Come and let me know. Email me, find me on social media. I'll put my links in below. Have a great week, my friends, and I'll speak to you next week in the next episode of the Be My Lobster podcast.